Welcome back to Ask the Trade Pros, a show where a couple trade guys talk about trade stuff. We're here to answer all your questions about your HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and other home systems so you can keep your home running smoothly. I'm Todd.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Today we got a loyal listener question which was sent to us from Jacob. He writes, "We have a drain line that comes from the back of the washer and another emergency drain underneath the washer in case of overflow from laundry to the second floor. Sometimes it stinks in there, and since the clothes are clean, it's not the clothes. I'm thinking it's because the line goes straight to the sewer. How do I prevent this from happening?"
Thanks for the question, Jacob. Stinky drains and drain lines are a common problem in the plumbing world. Fortunately, there are some things you can do to combat them. Let's get into it.
In order to figure out how to prevent the drain line from smelling, let's talk a little bit about what causes the drains to smell in the first place. And it's not just what you think.
Well, I guess the first few things to consider is, as water travels, you mentioned your laundry sink, so your clothes are dirty when you put them in the water. That dirty water does have to travel through the drain, which does tie into your main trunk line for your drain systems, which is also connected to your toilets, which then connects into your main drain where all your neighbors' number twos are going to the same place. So when you do have that smell, really you need a hound dog to come and sniff around and see where that smell is coming from. It could be a lot of issues. Do you have a bathroom that doesn't get used a lot? If so, every plumbing system, sink, bathtub, shower, in your case, the laundry machine, they all have P-traps. And what that P-trap does is it holds water to prevent sewer smells from traveling back through the pipes, therefore allowing the nice smell to travel through your house. So you want to know if those P-traps are full of water. A lot of cases we go into houses and the first thing I ask the customer is, okay, show me your bathrooms. And I start asking questions. Do you use this shower? Do you use this sink? How often are you using it? In the summertime, water can evaporate in those P-traps fairly quickly. I have a bathroom at my house that rarely gets used, so once a week I have to go in there and run the shower just to fill it up because occasionally you walk in there and that P-trap is dried. I would start there. Check your P-traps. If you know that you do use all of your fixtures and they are full of water, then obviously you know the smell is coming from elsewhere. Next thing I would check is the toilets. Again, and I wasn't kidding, sniff around a little bit as it figure out where it's coming from. If the wax ring is bad on the toilet, you might be getting smell coming up from the line running to the sewer from your toilet. So it might be time to replace that wax ring. We can go a little further into it, and if you know all of that's good, you could have a cracked vent pipe, every tub and toilet. And
So is the smell new? Because that might be the question you would ask, Todd, right? So he says it happens every now and then on that sewer line when it doesn't drain. But Jacob, I don't know how long you've owned the house. Did the smell always occur? Because that's a kind of a starting point. Or is it newly developed? As Todd's talking about cracked vent pipes, houses shift, things move, groundworks. These pipes might crack, whereas before they weren't. And then the smell seeps in.
Yeah, so if you, I guess, for being a homeowner and trying to get that information yourself, if you could identify and locate the problem, it might be something that you could fix yourself. If not, you would need to call in a plumbing professional and have them go in a little further in depth and possibly run a camera down your vent pipes to inspect for cracks.
Now, this is assuming this isn't something he changed in his life, like his diet or something, right?
Well, that could be the case too. I've came across some pretty stinky stuff, so you never know. But yeah, anyways, the camera inspection is one way to find a crack or something like that. There are other options. You could smoke test, which is you're filling your pipes up with smoke and you're looking around to see if you have smoke coming up through a fixture or under a faucet. Maybe you have a cracked P-trap or cracked dirty arm, something like that.
And sometimes it's something less we'll say, expensive to repair. Sometimes it's build up over time, things that they've gotten into the pipe since you've had the house. Haven't discussed, Jacob, whether your house is a newer house, an older house, how long the pipe's there. But pipes they're just like our arteries. They get build up, they get things that stick to them. They could have build up over time, and that might produce a smell as well, bacteria, or you could even have water leaks where mold buildup comes. So there's a lot of reasons as to where this pipe might generate the smell.
Yeah, honestly, kitchen lines are probably the worst smelling lines, especially if you have a garbage disposal. A lot of people put food down the disposal and it gets stuck in the pipe. It doesn't travel all the way down the drain. And for plumbers going to have to clear those lines, it's literally a black sludge sometimes that the snake never goes through, and the smell is just horrific.
Yeah, it's a goo from a horror movie is what it is.
Yeah, so if that's the case, there's options for that as well. There is enzyme treatments that you could do.
So explain to them a little bit what an enzyme treatment is, Todd. I know we as plumbers, we know this all the time, but people might be a little curious as to how that works.
So depending on the product, and there's many of them out there, they have Biocide, Liquid Alive. It's an enzyme that you dump down the drain that essentially eats the bacteria and hence makes the smell go away. Depending on how old your house is, what type of pipes you have, would determine which product you use. Some of the products aren't so environmentally friendly for your pipes, and depending on the age, you might not want to put those down there. So I would always recommend probably an inspection to know what type of pipes you have, and then get an honest opinion of what should be done. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pay a company to do it. Maybe just have that inspection done and try to tackle it yourself.
So it sounds like this is basically a probiotic for the drains. You just kind of want to know, are they metal, are they plastic? Because you don't want it, if it'll eat the rust, it'll eat the metal, it could eat through your pipes.
That is correct. Yeah, and there are also other solutions for that, especially for kitchen sinks. You can hydrojet your lines, which is essentially a high-pressure power washer that you send down the drain line and can clean those pipes and keep your drains running smoothly and know that you're clean, and that takes away the smell as well. It just depends on what the cause of the smell is and what solution to use to rid the smell.
So we'll leave the plumber joke about a pipe enema out of here, right? So one of the main things, though, Jacob, is just remember your pipes shouldn't have a smell that releases in your house. So if you're getting that smell, then as you're aware, as you wrote into us to let us know, try some solutions or get your pro out there, because generally with a P-trap and a properly working pipe, you won't smell anything coming out of any of your sewer lines.
If you try these fixes and your drain line is still backing up or stinking up your home in this case, reach out to your local trade pro.
And thanks for joining us today. If you learned something new or you liked what you heard, follow us so you don't miss a future episode.
Have a question about your home? Get in touch with us, and we may cover it on an upcoming episode. Check out the show notes for how to reach us.
And thank you, as always, to our wonderful sponsor, Done Right Services, for supporting our show.
Why did the sewer drain always win arguments? Because it knew how to flush out the competition.